What if I told you the air you're breathing right now was once part of a burning star? Let's start with what's actually in that breath. When you inhale, you take in about 10 sextillion atoms. That's a 1 with 22 zeros after it. All of those tiny particles are constantly moving through the air, bouncing off everything around you. Some of them were part of ocean water millions of years ago. Some once floated inside the lungs of ancient animals. Some might have passed through the leaves of trees that no longer exist. Everything you see, touch or breathe is made of atoms, the tiny building blocks of matter. They're so small that you could fit 1 million of them across the width of a single human hair. But here's the weird part. Each one is mostly empty space. If the center of an atom, the nucleus, were the size of a marble, the atom itself would be as big as a cathedral. That means what we call solid matter isn't actually solid. It's made of tiny particles spinning in empty space held together by invisible forces. So when you rest your hand on a table or breathe in air, you're touching a world that's mostly nothing at all, just tiny bits of matter surrounded by enormous gaps of emptiness. It doesn't feel that way because those particles push back when they get too close to each other. That's what creates the feeling of solid. But deep down, everything's in constant motion. That invisible world is the foundation of everything. Your body, the air, the oceans, the stars. It's all made from the same ingredients, just arranged in different ways. But those atoms in your breath didn't begin on Earth. They were created long before our planet even existed. The lightest atoms, hydrogen and a bit of helium, were formed about 13.8 billion years ago, right after the Big Bang. Everything else, the carbon in your skin, the calcium in your bones, the oxygen in your lungs, was made inside stars. Inside those stars, extreme heat and pressure forced atoms to fuse together. Hydrogen turned into helium, helium into carbon, and so on. It's called nuclear fusion. Stars are like enormous cosmic factories, constantly building new elements deep inside their cores. But stars don't last forever. When massive ones reach the end of their lives, they explode in a brilliant event called a supernova. Those explosions scatter all the new elements they created out into space. Carbon, oxygen, iron, gold, everything we're made of. Those materials drift through space for millions of years, slowly collecting again through gravity. Some of it formed new stars, some gathered into planets. And out of that stardust, about 4.5 billion years ago, our solar system was born. That means the atoms in your body, the iron in your blood, the calcium in your teeth, the oxygen you breathe, were forged inside stars that died long before the sun even formed. You are, quite literally, made from ancient stars. The universe recycles everything. Matter never disappears, it only changes form. Think about that for a second. The oxygen you're breathing right now might have once been inside the lungs of a dinosaur. The carbon in your body might have been part of a tree in an ancient rainforest. The hydrogen in your blood could have floated in space since the birth of the universe. Every atom is a traveller, constantly moving through time and space. Let's follow just one. Take a single oxygen atom. Long ago, it might have been locked inside a drop of water in the ocean. That drop evaporated into the sky, fell as rain, and ended up in the soil. A plant absorbed it. A creature ate the plant. That creature breathed it out again. It drifted for centuries, trapped in ice or dissolved in the sea before finally becoming part of the air you're breathing right now. Atoms don't stay in one place for long. They move through cycles from air to plants, plants to animals, back to the air again. They pass from life to life, form to form, generation to generation. In about a year, a large part of the atoms in your body will have been replaced through what you eat, drink, and breathe. You're constantly being rebuilt from the world around you. The you sitting here now is not exactly the same you from a year ago. That means the matter in your body doesn't really belong to you. You're borrowing it for a while. When your time's up, those atoms will move on and become part of something else, just like they always have. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Life itself is nothing more than atoms arranged in incredibly complex ways. Chemistry that can think, molecules that somehow became self-aware. When atoms bond, they follow simple rules. They don't know they're making a living being. Yet when arranged in the right pattern, they create something that can love. laugh, and dream. The same basic atoms that form a rock also form the human brain. The difference is in how they're organized. Your brain has billions of neurons, each one made of atoms constantly firing electrical signals. Those signals create thoughts, memories, and emotions. Every moment of awareness, every heartbeat, every feeling, it's all atoms following the laws of physics in patterns so intricate they give rise to consciousness. That's one of the strangest things about the universe. The same forces that created the stars also created the ability to look up and wonder about them. And while we think of ourselves as solid and stable, the atoms inside us never stop moving. Even when you're still, you're full of motion. They vibrate, collide, and transform through chemical reactions. This constant motion is what keeps everything alive and changing. When you light a candle, the atoms in the wax combine with the oxygen in the air. They rearrange into new molecules, water vapor and carbon dioxide, and release energy as heat and light. What you see as flame is matter changing form, energy being released as atoms let go of their bonds. It's the same with every transformation in nature. Trees turning sunlight into food, animals eating those trees, you breathing in oxygen and exhaling carbon dioxide. The same elements move through all these cycles, forever reused. Even death is just another part of this exchange. When a tree falls and rots, or when a living thing dies, its atoms return to the soil, the air and the water. They become the building blocks for new life. Nothing in the universe truly disappears. It just gets rearranged. When you think about it, that's a kind of immortality. Everything you are will continue to exist, just in different shapes. Nothing is wasted, nothing is gone, everything continues. That's the great cosmic secret hidden inside something as ordinary as breathing. And once you start to see it that way, every breath feels different. It's not just air, it's the universe flowing through you, a living bridge between the stars and the present moment. Maybe that's why understanding this matters. It reminds us that life isn't something separate from the cosmos. Life is how the universe experiences itself. You are not small compared to the stars. You are their continuation. Their atoms have gathered to become you, to see through your eyes, to think, to feel, to wonder. So the next time you breathe, slow down for a moment. Remember what's really happening. The air entering your lungs once burned in the heart of a star. The same atoms that formed ancient galaxies are moving through you right now. You're not apart from the universe. You are the universe, alive for a little while, thinking about itself. What do you think about your connection to the stars? Comment your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe while you're there.